Good afternoon, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose for the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who committed that crime. As you stand before me this afternoon, however, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release today. That is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit of the warrant which led to your arrest. We'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or that there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be, and if you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this afternoon. You do have the right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear or affirm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, I'll have you step in front of the podium.
Judge, I have a female, Shauna Berry.
Shauna Berry.
Turned herself in early this morning.
We ever have something else?
No, I was told that she turned herself early this morning. She's in custody. I checked before I rolled over here.
She was the one who wanted to add on to the
Yeah.
She's not.
Oh,
Yeah, she's not here right now. Can we find her?
We know.
Yes, sir. Give us a couple.
Okay, thanks. Let me know.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, they cut it off pretty early. Tristan Augustinovich. Morning, young lady, or afternoon. What's your date of birth?
5/21/97.
All right. You're here on a warrant that I signed. I found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
A public defender, please, sir.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to have you back in court on the 21st of February. The public defender is going to come see you before that, see if they can get your case worked out, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Patricia Cruz. Ms. Cruz, what's your date of birth?
8/29/72.
Ms. Cruz, the charge is burglar of a dwelling. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you got.
I'm just showing a petty theft from 94 with no no disposition, nothing else, Your Honor.
Ms. Cruz, I have an address for you on Driscoll Ave in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
Like 37 years.
Okay. You have a job these days?
No, sir. I've been applying for work, but haven't found one yet.
Okay. All right. Patricia, I'm going to set your bond at $2,000. I'm going to have you back in court on the 26th of February. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Christina Grenell. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
8/2/87.
Christina, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I am going to change your date to the 19th of February. They told you the 26th. The right date is the 19th. PD is going to come see you before you go to court, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Your Honor. She's
Yes.
actually brought up the transport order, and Judge Merritt set her date for February 4th.
For Miss Grinnell?
Yes.
That's what the PC says, February 4th. So.
Because I'm due.
Okay, February 4th. February 4th. Good enough. Thank you.
Good.
Yep. Heather Hatton.
Good morning.
Heather, what's your date of birth?
6288.
Heather, the charge is a battery on a hospital staff. There's probable cause for the charge. As to the charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I would like to represent myself, sir.
Okay. State what do you got?
It just looks like she has a pending petty theft out of Polk County from this year. Other than that, no history on it.
She came from Springbrook.
Okay. And Heather, I've got an address on South Rama Avenue in Lecanto. Is that where your home is?
Yes, sir.
How long have you
Well,
lived there?
Like 9 months. My home's actually in Ohio, though, sir. I've been trying to get back to my mom and my children for a long time, but I've had some issues. I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder and schizophrenia, and I've just been having a hard time. I just want to go home.
Okay. Do you folks in Ohio know where you're at right now?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm going to set your bond at $500. I'm going to have you back in court on February 26th. All right?
Okay.
Thank you.
I can't just plea out today.
No,
I don't know what that
unfortunately, not the way it's charged, Heather. If I could, I would, but I can't the way it's charged. All I can do is give you the bond reduction.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Julie Martin. Afternoon, Miss Martin. What's your date of birth?
2172.
Miss Martin, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Helis. She found probable cause for violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
A public defender. I wasn't able to make the payments.
Okay. Well, the warrant says you didn't do anything. Community service, DUI school, victim impact panel, substance abuse evaluation, 10-day
No, I
impound,
did.
nothing. So, in any event, bond on the warrant is no bond. We'll have you back in court on the 21st of February. PD will come see you before then, okay? Thank you. Ashley Prater. Afternoon, Ashley. What's your date of birth?
4490.
Ashley, the charge is resisting without violence. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
No convictions, Your Honor.
Ashley, I got an address for you on Union Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you been there?
Since November.
You have a job these days?
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
I'm a concierge at an assisted living facility.
Okay. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, Ashley. They'll let you out today. You have to be back in court on the 21st of February. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alexandra Scola. Afternoon, Alexandra. What's your date of birth?
12/15/1990.
Alexandra, the charge here is also resisting without violence. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself and hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD. State what you got.
I'm showing the defendant has out of state history.
We got a whole lot of Wisconsin.
Yeah, so it's Wisconsin history. The 2011 domestic disorderly conduct, and it looks like it was.
Well, hang on, Alexandra. Are you going to wind up back in prison in Wisconsin, or what's going on? Do you know?
I mean, my violation right now is just leaving the state, going on the run. I have no new charges except for the resisting, so it's up to them if they're going to revoke me or not.
Okay. And at the jail, obviously, I don't have the fugitive paperwork on her. If she resolves her local charge today, then I'd get the fugitive paperwork tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Alexandra, you're kind of in a spot because of the new charge. Because you can plea. I would let you enter a plea to that charge today and give you time served, but then you'll have committed a new crime. And then tomorrow we'd be talking about Wisconsin coming to get you and whatever. If it's just absconding at the moment when you got back there, then it would be absconding and having committed a new crime. So I don't know what that would mean to them. I don't know what your history in Wisconsin is. I don't know what the story is. But all of that being said, I'm willing to resolve your local charge right now, so that tomorrow we can get you going on the road back to Wisconsin to take care of that issue. But that's up to you. Otherwise, I'd be happy to appoint you a lawyer on this case so you could talk to them before you resolve this case. Of course, because of the holding from Wisconsin, you're not going to get out of jail until you resolve this case. So, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I would prefer to just do the whole plea and clear that up today.
To clear it up today, and then we'll talk about extradition tomorrow?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So, Alexander, you understand that you give up the right, by entering a plea, you're going to give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, right to have a lawyer, but you want to give up those rights so we can take care of this today?
Yes.
As to the charge of resisting without violence, how do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept the plea. I'll find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll unappoint the public defender. I will adjudicate you guilty of the charge, sentence you to 2 days in the county jail, 2 days credit time served. Fine and court cost is $550, and your cost of incarceration. So, like I said, you're not getting out today because they're gonna have you back tomorrow at first appearance with that hold, and then we'll talk about extradition and how that works. Okay?
Okay.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yep.
Your Honor, we have Ms. Berry available.
Oh, okay, Ms. Berry.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Actually, on behalf of Ms. Berry, Judge, I believe it's a violation of probation.
Okay. And then at jail, can you tell me, is it a felony violation?
I believe that is correct, Judge.
You guys, can you tell me what judge it is?
Hold on just a moment. I don't have her folder. I wasn't ready for it. Give me just a second.
Yeah, I like doing things you're not expecting.
Hold on, Judge. I might be able to answer some of those questions.
Do you even have a case number?
I do.
Maria can look it up.
I have 2018 CF 325.
Maria, you're on it.
I believe, Judge, that it'd be Judge Merritt Jr. That's who she pled in front of.
Okay, that's who it'll be. Okay, and then Maria, what's the soonest date we can get back in front of Judge Merritt?
February 4th. February 3rd.
4th, yeah, we did one for the 4th earlier. I think the 4th works.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Okay, so young lady, I got Mr. Alls here on your behalf. The warrant is the warrant that Judge Merritt signed. He found probable cause for a VOP. The bond on that is no bond. I can't change that. But what I will do is change the date, so you'll be without bond until the 4th of February, which is next week, whenever, Tuesday or Wednesday. You'll be back in court then, and I'm sure Mr. Alls will come see you before that, all right?
That's correct. Ms. Berry, I'll be out to see you before then. Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Jill, if you want to email paperwork to Welshans, then I can sign the first appearance paperwork today and we can get it processed.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Robert Cunningham. Afternoon, Robert. What's your date of birth?
4/15/86.
Robert, I get 3 charges today. I've got a theft of services, criminal mischief, and a felony petty theft. There's probable cause as to those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State, what do you got?
It's Willis and a paraphernalia adjudication in 2019 and a state prison sentence in 2015 for fraudulent use of IT information, as well as a grand theft. and
it's reason I'm here, Dave.
a possession of a controlled substance adjudication in 2014 where a prison sentence was imposed, and a 2011 adjudication for principal to dealing in stolen property, and in 2011 for grand theft, and a 2010 uttering forced instrument adjudication, a aggravated assault with deadly weapon adjudication in 06. The state prison sentence was imposed, and no other history, Your Honor.
All right. Robert, I have an address for you on Spruce Drive in Weekiwachi. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
20 years.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
No.
How long has it been since you worked?
I'm on disability.
Oh, okay. I'll set the bond at $500 on each count. That's a total of $1,500. I'm going to have you back in court on the 26th of February. When you get out, make sure you contact the public defender right away, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Robert.
Andrew DeLea. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
6/18/99.
Andrew, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I have a private attorney already.
Very good. Bond on that is no bond. I can't change that. We will have you back on the 19th. They might have told you the 26th. The right date is the 19th of February. Make sure you contact your lawyer right away and let them know it's the 19th, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Casey Ellis. Casey, date of birth?
12/1/92.
Casey, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Eineman. He found probable cause for a charge of battery as a second or subsequent offense, being domestic in nature. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
I'll point the PD. State, what do you got?
A resisting without violence adjudication in 2018, a 2011 adjudication for a battery, a 2007 adjudication of a resist officer without violence, an assault adjudication in 2007, a 2007 throw deadly missile, and then delinquent history, which includes battery.
And Casey, I have an address for you on Omaha Circle. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how long you been there?
I've been there for about 6 months.
Okay. You have a job these days?
I have 2, sir, yes.
What do you do?
I'm a cook at Cheddar Scratch Kitchen. I work for Raymond James Stadium.
Okay. So Casey, I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Kaylee. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. Don't contact her through social media. Don't go where she lives. Don't go where she works. Don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine, hang on, I'll get there. Any way that you might imagine having contact with her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants to contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision she is allowed to make. She may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case or your lawyer tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. You're going to be back in court. I'll give you a chance, I really will. You're going to be back in court on the 26th of February. If you get out, you should contact the public defender now. What's your question, Casey?
My children, sir.
Okay. Is there somebody, a family member, who would be willing to arrange contact between you and your children that both you and Kaylee would trust?
Like, what do you mean, sir?
I don't know.
Like, because, like,
Is
she
there a
stays with
grandmother or a cousin or an uncle? Is there somebody around who's a family
my mom-
member who would be willing to stand between you two and arrange for child visitation?
like how me and her don't talk as is, and like how I pick and see my children up is through her mom or her grandmom, because that's who she stays with.
Okay.
So like as long as I'm allowed to talk to her mom or her grandma when it comes to seeing my kids, sir, then that's more than enough.
Well,
for me,
what
sir.
I'm trying to get at is we're going to pick one. So I've just explained to you what no contact means. I'm going to allow you to speak to her mother. What's her mother's name?
Her mother's name is Stacy Eichholz, and her grandmama is Geneva Eichholz.
No,
Flowers,
I'm
Geneva
just
Flowers.
picking one. You may
Okay,
speak
Stacy Eichholz, then.
to Stacy about visitation with the kids, but only about visitation. If you say to Stacy, tell Kaylee, I'm sorry, you're violating the condition of your bond, and you could get rearrested. You hear me?
All right, yes, sir.
Okay, only about visitation. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. Okay, because right now we got to get this charge resolved. If Stacy is willing to do that, and Stacy can make that happen without you guys talking about each other, awesome. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen until we get this case resolved. Like I said, you're back in court on February 26th. Make sure you see the PD when you get out. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Vincent Ferraro. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
7/20/84.
So you're hearing a warrant that I signed. Looks like you failed to appear on 2 charges of battery and a witness tampering. As to those charges, did you have a lawyer or a public defender, or what was going on?
Public defender. I was in custody at Pasco at the time.
Okay, well that happens. Okay, and state what's his history like?
And Your Honor, the state was, the offer was adjudication, time served or resolved with the open Pasco VOP. Did he resolve his Pasco VOP?
Is your Pasco case done, Vincent?
No, sir.
Okay, they just sent you up here to deal with this.
Okay.
So when do you go back to court in Pasco?
The 18th and the 20th.
Okay.
I have his history, Your Honor.
Okay, what's his history?
He was currently on CF probation in Pasco County, received a withhold possession of controlled substance and adjudication for DUI, refusal to submit to Willis, first conviction. He got 18 months drug offender probation on that. And an adjudication, 19 battery, criminal mischief, and trespass, was placed on probation there. Adjudication 15 Willis, adjudication 13 possession of cannabis and possession of paraphernalia, withhold 10 in 2010 for no motor vehicle registration, 05 paraphernalia, Florida Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention, and 05. Other than that, no history.
Okay. And Vincent, the Pasco case, is it a VOP or what's going on down there?
Yes, sir. It's PFP.
Okay, are these charges part of the problem? I mean,
Yeah, this is.
so your probation in Pasco was violated because you picked up these charges, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know how you came to be here before you got your Pasco case resolved? What happened in Pasco?
I was out on bond on this charge, and they moved me to Pasco, and then my court date was December 4th, and they never transported me back, or else.
Okay.
I said I went
Okay.
to
Do you have a bond in Pasco?
No, that's VOPs.
Right.
There's no bond
Okay.
on VOPs. I already went to court, and they give me a continuance because my public defender don't want to touch it until I resolve my case here first. Because how are they going to charge me for when they don't know if I'm even guilty for the new charge?
Brother, I understand the issue, and we'll stop there. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I can't promise you it makes any difference, but I'm going to set a bond of $500 on each count on these cases. These are set in front of me on Friday. And I'll appoint the public defender. So you're going to be back in front of me on Friday with these cases, and we'll see if we can't come up with a plan to get them figured out. Because, well, we'll talk Friday, because then your lawyer will have a chance to find out a little information maybe. we'll talk Friday and see what we can do, because it makes, between you and me, it makes more sense for you to resolve Pasco first. And I'm not sure what's going on, but we'll try to find out. We'll talk again on Friday, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Zaria Hilton Brown. Afternoon, date of birth.
3/24/83.
You are here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for one count of battery, being domestic in nature. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Private counsel.
Very good. State, what can you tell me?
And this is for Mr. Hilton Brown, right?
Right.
Your Honor? Okay. An adjudication in 07 for a no valid driver's license. A adjudication in 03 for a fray. Adjudication in 03 for resisting without. Adjudication in 02 for aggravated fleeing to elude. And a burglary adjudication in 02.
Okay.
No other.
And, sir, I have an address for you on Graywood Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, me and my wife, we own that property, but right now me live in Pasco, 20252 Somerset Acres Lane. That's where I was picked up.
Okay. And do you have a job these days?
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
I'm a painter.
Like a house painter?
Yes, I paint commercial, residential, house and.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to set your bond to $1,000. Condition of the bond is that while this charge is pending, you'll have no contact with Miss McGrath. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
Yes, I did.
And you understood that?
Yes, I totally understand. But like him, me and she have kids, so I guess I have to pick somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. I will go with my brother.
What's your brother's name?
Kashima.
Can you spell that for me? If you back away from the microphone a little, I can actually hear you better. Spell his name for me.
Kachh. Mahaa.
Okay. Same last name?
Yes, Hilton.
Okay. All right. So like I said, you told me you understood no contact. For visitation, Kashima can take care of it, but you can't talk about anything else, okay? You can't say I'm sorry. Can't say tell her I love her. None of that stuff, okay?
I understood. I have one little problem. We can't get in contact with anybody. I've been here 7 days, 7 full days on this charge. I was wondering if I can get an R&R when I have a court date to come back, to handle this. But
Okay.
I can
I can't legally give an ROR on a case like this. I've set the bond where I think it's reasonable. I'm going to have you back in court on February 21st. If you bond out, make sure you tell your private lawyer that that's the date you're going back to court, all right?
Right. Is there any way that I can...
Mr. Hilton, I almost can't understand a thing you're saying because you will not back away from the microphone.
Okay. What I'm saying is, can I get to my cell phone, because I have all of my contacts in my cell phone. I can't talk to anybody.
That's a jail policy, and I would be willing to bet the farm that they're not going to let you have your cell phone. No.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Joshua Roberts. Afternoon, Joshua. What's your date of birth?
6/12/85.
Joshua, the first thing I have for you is a warrant that was signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. That one's coming back February 26th. Then I have Hang on. Another warrant, this one's signed by Judge Barbie, and then another warrant signed by Judge Toner. Each of them are resisting arrest without violence. On those two cases, I guess I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender for you. I'm going to set bonds on those of $500 in each case. Those two cases are coming back on the 31st of January. That's this Friday. And the public defender will be representing you when you're back in court on those, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Austin Thompson. Afternoon, Austin. What's your date of birth?
11/01/97.
Austin, you're here on a warrant that I signed. You failed to appear in my court on a charge of possession of marijuana. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you got.
Your Honor, the state would like to offer him a withhold pay and go.
Oh, okay. Austin, if you want to take care of this case today, you can plead no contest. If you did that, I would withhold adjudication. That matters on a marijuana case because that means your driver's license won't get suspended. It would not affect your driver's license. There'd be a fine and court cost of $550. You'd be on your own to make a payment plan for that. You can do that in the courthouse in Brooksville. But if you took that offer, the charge is done today. You get out of jail today, and this is over.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Very good. You understand by entering a plea today, give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, right to have a lawyer represent you, but you want to give up those rights so we can resolve this today?
Yes, sir.
Case number 19MM2784 as the charge that you possessed marijuana. How do you wish to plead? You may plead no contest.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll accept that plea, find it was freely and voluntarily made. I will withhold adjudication, assess a fine and court cost of $550. That takes care of this case, Austin. If there's nothing else keeping you in the jail, you will be released today, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. Antonio Thomas. Afternoon, Mr. Thomas. What's your date of birth?
12697.
Mr. Thomas, I have a warrant for you out of Pasco County. The judge who signed the warrant found probable cause for a violation of probation and set your bond at no bond. I can't change that. We'll let Pasco know you're here and ready to go. I'll give them 5 days to come pick you up. It doesn't take 5 days with Pasco, but if for some strange reason you are still here in 5, they'll bring you back to see me and find out what the problem is, all right?
All right.
Very good. Jill, that's everybody?
Yes, sir.